Well, Stephen, Natasha, Diddy's ex-girlfriend for hire, going under the pseudonym Jane, was on the hot seat today under cross-examination, providing more details about her business and sex relationship with Diddy, and really getting into her jealousy that Diddy was showing a lot of attention and going public with rapper Young Miami.
The fuck, like he called, we should kick it on telephone and after the main.
Right.
And the nigga be like, matter of fact, they sent me the girl pictures, like pictures of this girl, like, not the that y'all saw.
Hey, baby, we had a great time. Stay in the light. It's all good. Get your rest. You are the crack pipe.
A voicemail of Diddy referring to 50 Cent's baby mama as his crack pipe was recently played during a federal court session. And now, 50 Cent is erupting online, calling both of them out in a fiery public feud that's shaking up the entire case. As expected, 50's response is brutal, calculated, and utterly humiliating. But what caught everyone off guard was the shocking depth of this twisted love triangle and its links to sex trafficking allegations, wild parties, and a child custody battle hanging in the balance. What was played in court wasn't just was submitted as official evidence. While Diddy remained silent, 50 Cent clapped back with receipts, Instagram posts, parody skits, and behind-the-scenes revenge tied to a BMF casting call. This isn't gossip, it's part of a federal investigation. And it all kicked off with one voicemail. This wasn't a leaked recording shared in secret, it was courtroom evidence, publicly aired, with Diddy forced to sit silently as jurors listened to his own voice blast through the speakers.
Hey, baby, we had a great time. Stay in the light. It's all good. Get your rest. You are the crack pipe. That's my new name for you, crack pipe. Or should I call you CP? But, yeah.
He wasn't whispering. He wasn't intoxicated. He sounded calm, almost as if he believed it was romantic. This voicemail didn't come from 2006. It wasn't some relic pulled out of the Bad Boy archives. It was played in a federal courtroom in 2025. Prosecutors believe the woman on the other end was Jane Doe, anonymous witness currently testifying against Diddy in his federal sex trafficking trial. But social media and insiders are saying what many are thinking out loud. Jane Doe is allegedly Daphne Joy, model, entrepreneur, Diddy's ex-girlfriend, and the mother of 50 Cent's son. And to fans, this was the detail that confirmed everything.
They spent 5 days in a hotel room. Said they had dinner on the balcony, they went all the way, and she let him know that she had a child with someone that he knew. This person did not get along with Diddy, but he said that he didn't mind.
Because everyone knows the kind of relationship 50 Cent has with Diddy. So when you connect the dots, it all starts to add up. And believe it or not, that shocking reveal wasn't even the most explosive part, because the courtroom audio kept going.
I want you to stay in the light. You know what I'm saying? We had a very, very good time together. Like, so much fun. So much fun. Now go rest up. Get in your bag. You know what I'm saying? Got your contract. Find a nice little spot. Put your mind at ease. And, yeah, I had a great time.
Contract. That single word changed the whole atmosphere. Instantly, it stopped sounding like a pet name or some kinky banter. Became clear this was a business deal, a financial arrangement, a transaction disguised as intimacy.
For the break, the prosecutor showed text messages from October of 2023 where Diddy said to Jane Doe, "I want to spend the day with you." And she replied saying, "You make it crystal clear what you want me for." And then she asked him, "You're going to spend the day love bombing me?"
So what exactly was this contract? According to testimony, Diddy was allegedly giving Jane Doe $10,000 a month, and it wasn't just for rent. He paid for her furniture, her veneers, her clothing line, and she admitted she wasn't the only one. Diddy had similar arrangements with multiple women, what insiders are now calling love contracts. But for Jane, it hit differently. Prosecutors said Diddy drew her in with intimacy, then locked her into a life of luxury. She became dependent on him financially, emotionally, physically, and the deeper she fell, the darker it all became.
Jane Doe calls Diddy a fuck and says she believes he has bi curiosity. After the short break, Teeny Garagos asked Jane Doe if she was willingly participating in these hotel nights. She said while no one physically forced her at the time, she was a willing participant, saying, "I felt I had to keep the relationship." She also said that the most affection she would receive from Diddy were on these nights and that she liked the parts when it was just him and her.
According to court documents, she testified that she was expected to attend hotel nights events that involved drugs, sex, and occasionally hired male escorts. These nights weren't random or impulsive, they were carefully planned in advance.
For 24 hours, yeah, you always wanted to set some up. So now you got the opportunity. So set some up for tomorrow night. That last vision we had, that was Dawn and ATL. See you put it together, baby.
And Diddy, he allegedly made sure she understood exactly what her role was. In one message, he reportedly told her, "You got me on my job. It will never work like that over here. You need to get on your job." Meaning, it was her responsibility to please him and keep him satisfied. He also said, "You have left me no choice. You have me treating you. I am trying to be clear. I am going to disappear on you." At another point, after a freak-off didn't go as planned, he allegedly reminded her, "Look at the roof over your head and that pretty smile. I don't want to do anything if that's still an issue." And still, despite all of that, she stayed. That is, until the courtroom forced her to speak. If there was ever a moment where the illusion shattered, this was it. Under cross-examination, Jane Doe was asked a simple question: "You gladly received designer purses, right?" Jane answered, "No, I got trauma." Jaros followed up, "Do you know what a Bottega bag is?" Jane replied, "I'm sure you have one." Garagos pressed again, "How much does one cost?" That's when Jane snapped. She shot back, "How much does my body cost?" Then the questioning turned to her jealousy toward Young Miami already noted in her records. She testified that Diddy paraded his relationship with Miami like a trophy: public outings, red carpet events, while Jane was kept out of sight, moved in and out like cargo.
With Diddy's former chief of staff, Christina Koram, and asking if they got along well. She testified that KK actually disliked her and that negatively impacted how Diddy would treat her. She said, "I believe she had strong opinions about me, which influenced a great deal of how Sean also treated me." Now, remember in Jane Doe's testimony how she had said that KK told her to fly to Miami with substances in her bag? Well, the defense team pulled up a text message saying, "It's not written in these texts." Well, Jane Doe confirmed that it did happen, but it happened verbally over the phone.
Which is why Jane's resentment toward Young Miami wasn't just emotional, it became legal leverage. She claimed Diddy weaponized their arrangement against her, calling her needy, jealous, and manipulative. She said she felt trapped to accept his nights because, if she ever said no, he'd cut her off financially at one point. Her voice broke as she described trying to hold herself together, covering bruises with makeup after he allegedly choked her during a fight. Yet she still showed up for hotel nights, still sent him love messages, still thanked him. She told the court that being in Diddy's world felt like living inside a bubble. Nothing felt real. And still, she admitted that a part of her continued to crave his attention, even after everything. But then, things took a darker turn. She testified that Diddy didn't just invite her to events, he gave her instructions: who to bring, what to wear, when to arrive. He allegedly asked her to bring in other women and to make sure they stayed quiet. She said he offered perks, flights, gifts, rent money. Prosecutors now describe it as a freak-off enterprise, a system built around women, pulled into transactional sex under the disguise of consent, muddled by control. And this wasn't speculation. The love contract was real. She confirmed it under oath. She said Diddy asked her what she wanted. She requested $15,000 a month. He countered with $10,000, and she accepted.
Now, first of all, this was not a written contract. This was a verbal contract. You know how you and your man is talking and you asking him for some money to pay some bills. So I guess Jane Doe and Diddy were talking or whatever, and he said, "How much do you want your allowance to be?" And Jane Doe said, "15K. I want my allowance, my monthly allowance to be 15K." And Diddy was like, "No, it's going to be 10K." So they agreed on 10K.
They put together a 2-year agreement. She moved into a new home with her child. Diddy covered the cost of her furniture, gave her funds to launch a fashion brand, and through it all, she was still required to show up for the lifestyle. One night, she testified, she agreed to an all-star freak-off she and Diddy hosting a hotel event with their top 3 male performers. But she didn't want to go through with it. She tried to back out. She sent him a text, including a photo of pink toilet paper, subtly suggesting she was on her period. He replied, "Don't ask for money again." The courtroom fell silent as those texts were read aloud. At that moment, the question shifted. It wasn't just about whether Diddy had too much power, it became, was Jane a victim, or his favorite plaything? Because for every tearful confession, there was a designer handbag. For every alleged assault, a money transfer, and for every freak-off night there was a luxury suite, a contract, a paper trail. Even the jury looked uncertain. But 50 Cent, he didn't flinch. As soon as the courtroom chaos hit headlines, he went nuclear. He jumped on Instagram, posted a selfie of Daphne Joy next to a courtroom sketch, then hit send with what might be the most sarcastic caption of the year. "Hey, does anyone know who Jane Doe is? I'm trying to do some research." The post was deleted within hours, but not before screenshots exploded across TMZ, X, and every hip-hop blog imaginable. The message was loud and clear. 50 wasn't just trolling. He was calling her out on the biggest public stage possible, the middle of a federal trial, using her own image. Then came the second post, 0.50 Cent and his son Sire giving the camera a legendary side-eye. The caption, "WTF." But he didn't stop at memes. He called in his AIT man, dropped what the internet now calls one of the most savage parody videos hip-hop has ever seen. Freak-Off Family Matters, a spoof of the classic sitcom intro, re-edited to include Diddy, Daphne, Cassie, Young Miami, and every other name linked to the Freak-Off scandal dancing in sync to the theme song. And just when it seemed like he was finished, 50 Cent played his dirtiest card yet. Back in 2023, when whispers first began that Diddy and Daphne were more than just friends, 50 made a silent but strategic move. He cast Young Miami in his hit series. That's right, BMF, the Black Mafia family drama he executive produces. Most people thought it was just another celebrity collaboration, but now it's clear. It was a calculated strike. Think about it. Diddy's girl featured in a show run by 50 Cent at the exact same time. Diddy was allegedly hooking up with 50's baby mama behind closed doors, and if you thought 50 did it out of spite, think again. Because around that time, Daphne was still living in a house funded by Diddy, still receiving monthly payments, still bound by her so-called love contract, and 50 knew Diddy was sleeping with the mother of his child. But instead of losing control, he turned it into a streaming opportunity. Then came the pettiest post of them all on Father's Day. No throwback photos, no heartfelt captions. Instead, 50 posted this: "Happy Father's Day, little, I'll have full custody soon. Little, you'll be back on OnlyFans in no time." Little, it was messy. Especially since, just months earlier, 50 had filed for full custody of their son, Sir, allegedly, citing Daphne's ties to Diddy's lawsuit and her name being linked to the sex trafficking case. But Daphne, she wasn't staying quiet. Her next move flipped everything again. By now, the internet had basically confirmed the rumors Jane Doe was Daphne Joy. The courtroom sketches, the leaked testimony, the freak-off receipts, every clue pointed back to 50 Cent's baby mama. And for a moment, it looked like she was being buried under it all. But then came her response, and subtle, it was anything but. She took to Instagram and addressed not just 50, but the entire world. What she posted read more like a digital manifesto, a scream in bold font. "Let's put the real focus on your true evil actions of raping me, and physically accusing me. You are no longer my oppressor. God will handle you from this point on." She directly accused 50 Cent of rape and abuse allegations no one saw coming. She made it clear she wasn't backing down. She denied Lil Rod's claims. She denied ever being a paid escort for Diddy. And she filed a defamation lawsuit against 50 Cent.
She explained to the jury that love bombing was a very common manipulation pattern that she would get from Diddy, where he would shower her with affection and then he'd want a hotel night. She responded to him again saying, "I'm not an animal people can F on," and he responds with, "You're crazy." She said that he would call her crazy often, especially if she said she was uncomfortable with doing a hotel night. And
she said that every time she asked for something, a new couch, money for her child, a dental visit, she already knew what it would cost, her body. And even when she refused, Diddy would remind her the cameras were still rolling, suggesting they could just turn it into a movie night instead. And that's where we leave her, still on the witness stand. Still unraveling, still testifying against one of the most powerful figures in the music industry. But here's the twisted part: Diddy is still covering her rent, 2.50 Cent is still posting savage memes. And Young Miami. Still riding on the back of Diddy's bike, wind in her hair, laughing like the queen of chaos.
You're so
Yes, so I'm just riding around the city, you know.
Yep.
Riding around the city today, we just celebrating. We outside, we painting the city red. It's off the grid. The Love album, Off the Grid, coming out tonight. It's the Super Bowl of R&B. As y'all can see, I'm in my city. And I'm just feeling good. It's a celebration. Feeling glorious. Happy birthday to my brother Nas. It's his birthday today. It feels good to be home, good to be putting out great music to all my R&B lovers and fans. Tonight at midnight, it's gonna return to that frequency, that feeling, baby. Yeah.
Because while everyone's busy pointing fingers, throwing shade, and clapping back, the real question isn't about who's guilty.